Well, we're back with the Extra Point, and we're honing in on the push for answers when it comes to President Biden's botched Afghanistan withdrawal. Now that Republicans are in charge, the new House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman, Congressman Michael McCaul, sent a letter to Secretary of State Antony Blinken writing this quote: "It's absurd and disgraceful that the Biden administration has repeatedly denied our long-standing oversight request. The committee will not tolerate continued delay." Well, for more on this, let's bring in Chad Robichaux, former Force Recon Marine and author of the brand new book out tomorrow called Saving Aziz. Chad, welcome back to the show. Congratulations on the new book. All right, in your book, you document your real accounts of the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. We were talking to you during this time when you were working on getting people out. At what point did you realize that you wouldn't be able to rely on the U.S. government to help extract American citizens?
Well, I originally started getting really concerned in April because my interpreter, Aziz, who I did 8 deployments with, he was going through the SIV process for like 6 years. It was a failed system. And then as I'm watching President Biden start giving dates that we were going to be out of there, I knew this was not a good decision. I knew the Joint Chiefs and his intelligence advisors were advising him against it. But he seemed so hasty to want to make a quick withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I was really concerned about, one, our national security and the global security of terrorism around the world, but also for my friend, Aziz, who I did 8 deployments with. And I held his kids and I lived in his home, and he saved my life on multiple occasions. Like, I was worried about him, and I felt I couldn't rely on our government to do the right thing. And I would have to put effort in to go get Aziz, his wife, and the 6 kids.
Wow. Through your organization, Save Our Allies, you actually rescued over 17,000 people from Afghanistan.
Yes.
Do you think that everyone who wanted to get out got out?
No. I mean, this was one of the things that the White House continued to say, is that American citizens wanted to get out. All they had to do was go to the airport. That was absurd. Anyone that was familiar with what's going on there was the NEO operation, the non-combatant evacuation operation, was taken away from the Department of Defense, and the White House gave it to the State Department, who doesn't know how to do that, and it's not their job to do that. They secured the H-Kaya airport, but they didn't let the military go outside that security. They treated it like an embassy, like the State Department would treat an embassy. And so what that created was the Taliban to have the outer perimeter of the airport, which meant anybody that went inside of or outside of the airport only did so because the Taliban allowed them. And as American citizens are going to the airport, their blue passports are being taken away. They're witnessing Afghans being shot and killed. They're witnessing allies and people who support the U.S. Be brutally killed right in front of them. And so why would any American risk their life to show a blue passport to the Taliban to try to get in that airport? It was ridiculous that the White House said this. And when the military finally left, we had finished our evacuations of the airport. When the military left and they welded those gate shuts and they withdrew, we knew that there were not hundreds of Americans there. We knew there were thousands of Americans there. The White House was saying there was only 100. But from where I come from, you don't leave one American behind. Not 100, not 1,000. You don't leave one American behind. And that's why we chose to stay and continue to evacuate people even after the military was forced to leave.
Chad, do you still think Americans are stranded there?
I do. I believe that there's a lot going on in Afghanistan right now that we'll never know about because we removed our presence from there. The Taliban controls. We couldn't say how many because the State Department doesn't report or collect how many people go into another country. It's on up to the citizen to report if they go into another country. Most Americans don't do that. So we have no idea how many are there. From my talking to Afghans who are there, they said there's Americans still in hiding, green card holders still in hiding, and they're scared to try to make their way out of the country. I mean, I was personally on the Tajikistan border. I went from Tajikistan into Afghanistan. We would swim across every night, building those routes out, and just visually being there and seeing the security threat. You have the Taliban there, you had Chinese military, you had the Russian military, and it's Tajikistan guards. So that's just one border. The other side of the country, you have the Pakistan border with ISI there and the Taliban, and you can't just get on an airplane and fly out without checking in with the Taliban. So I believe Americans are still there. They're scared. They're waiting for us to do something. And unfortunately, the administration is not going to do anything to get our Americans and our allies out. By the way, 75,000 of our allies who contractually have a duty owed to them by the American government to have them so that they'll have a pathway to citizenship in America for their service to us.
Wow, what a mess. And hopefully the Republicans will be able to get some answers. So many unanswered questions on that awful withdrawal. Chad Robichaux, again, congratulations on the book. Thanks for being here with us to share a little of it.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right.